Good morning, one and all. Welcome back to Red's Homestead. If this is your first time here, we are first-time homesteaders, first time getting animals, first time doing just about everything. We're about 8 months in now. See, 1 year will be at the end of July, so maybe, yeah, 7 months in. But thanks for coming. Subscribe if you want to stay. Here we go. Today is my last day off of my little tiny stretch of away from work. So I'm gonna go back to my normal routine of every other day videos instead of every day. But I did change when I post the videos. I post now at 2 p.m. seeing what that does, and just gonna keep it like that. Today we're gonna get the chicks out of the brooder. Problem with tonight is it's supposed to rain, so I'm going to be getting another tarp. One tarp to cover the top, one tarp to kind of figure out a way to hang it over the feeder so that when we move them, it's only going to be low 50s tonight, so they should be fine as long as they can stay dry. So I'm going to make sure that they can stay dry. They're about a little over 4 weeks now, and they should be ready to go and handle 50-degree weather. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to feed them a little early. Normally we feed them 6 o'clock at night or so, but we're going to feed them probably a little early, maybe 4:30, 5 o'clock. And then once they're done eating at about 6 o'clock, move them all into the chickshaw, move them down there and leave them in there without any food or water, and then open her up in the morning, and hopefully they'll rush to their food and water, do their thing, and they find that chickshaw at night back as their home. Or since it's going to be raining all day, they'll just be hanging out in there. Morning, my ladies. Y'all don't mind this weather at all. We're up to 4 eggs now. We're getting, like yesterday we got 4 eggs in one day, so there's more than one laying now. There's at least 4 of them. Now if we could just get all 10 on board, we're gonna be loaded with eggs. And for the chicks, we're gonna cover the bottom with straw. So at least the first night, just to make sure they can stay nice, dry, warm, and they're good to go.
I felt like something was behind me. Thought I got pecked from behind, but I think it was just my hair. This one's kind of mean, but it used to not give me any any attention. Now I'm not sure if it wants to kill me. Yeah, see, it's okay.
Shannon's got to get her chicken time in before work.
I love these girls.
This is how I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get some logs and have them sitting on top of here, try to bungee them to the top right here, and then have this draped down like this, and then same thing on the bottom is bungee some rig up some weight basically to keep it down there. And what I could do is pick this bottom half up and put it on top when I move it, and then when I set them down there, I can put that back down, and that'll keep the food dry and give them a dry area to come out and eat and drink, and hopefully keep them from getting too cold. You can see what my neighbor has to deal with his free-ranging chickens. Those hawks always circling up there. Y'all just don't come after mine. We have our first escape artist. And the other chickens have no idea
I hope this is one that likes me.
what to do about it. That's the first time they've ever
I
escaped.
didn't even see her do it.
They can hop right over this if they want to.
I know, I was hoping they wouldn't.
The only thing I'm worried about with my garden being right here.
But I like that they're over here, so if they escape, they gotta go all the way down there or all the way over there
Right.
to get out, like towards the road. Now they could go down that way towards the creek, but I don't really see them going that far from this place.
No.
So are we gonna clip their wings?
Well, after seeing that, probably we will be at least.
I need to watch a lot of videos on it because I
come
want
in layers. So they'll all have a top layer and a bottom layer, essentially, and you just get that right little
You're
top
about to
piece.
get your
I'm about to
finger.
get my finger pecked off.
Here, let me put it on there. Which one of you can I grab?
There you go.
All right.
So you see the at the very tips?
And it's one wing that you do, right?
Yeah, just one.
So these feel tough. But do you just put the top wing, top layer?
We'll watch. Yeah, right about where your index finger was, a little bit higher. Yeah, maybe it's about here.
Oh, so you just clip that?
Yeah, but I want to watch videos and make sure.
Yeah, I don't want to hurt them. You should do it so that they still like me.
Okay, I'll do it.
You'll be the torturer.
I mean, it's painless as long as you don't. As long as you don't cut the wrong feathers, it's like clipping your toenails. After walking around and doing some thinking, came up with a much better idea. We have a barn. Why aren't we going to use it?
I've been saying.
So we're gonna, I guess the biggest thing is because I have to move now all the wiring I did, everything I did for the electric fence down there. I have to, you know, pull it all up and mount it at the barn. But then I don't have to worry about anything.
They'll have cover.
They'll have cover. They won't have much of a forage area, whatever. We'll just feed them.
Yeah.
But that's gonna solve everything.
You never know what bugs might crawl in there.
You never know, yeah. All right, so
weeds.
now we gotta move the fencing. All right, first thing I have to do is connect the grounding rod that goes all the way to my Energizer over there. And then I'm gonna be marking it, this grounding rod, because I'm not pulling out the rod, because I actually have grounding rods in the barn next to the poles. And I think they're 2 or 3 feet deep, rebarb, and I'll just use that to ground. So this is gonna stay here, and I'm gonna mark it with this so that when we do end up mowing, if we're not using it again, we know where it is. This is where we were gonna have them so that they could forage on bugs and this grass and stuff that's in there, a little bit of grass that's in there, the greens, and then just move them all along this area until we take them up there and process them in 4 weeks. But since we have a change of plans, gonna get this guy off and move to the barn. This little 2-stall area of the pole barn, getting it clear of whatever junk, and you can see in the corner over there, it is not fully enclosed. So we're gonna use the electric netting and put it all, make an enclosure with the electric netting, and then bring the netting thinking outside here and around the corner, because it'll give them a little area to forage, at least for the first day. We've got like this kind of little greeny stuff. Then we'll have to plan out how to move them from there. We do have this area over here, but then they'd be in competition with the neighbors' chickens. Wonder how that would play out.
What?
Because the neighbors' chickens and rooster are always getting there.
I don't know.
We'll see. Or
They may not with the
we could,
fence on.
yeah,
I know they can fly over it, but they just may not even.
might not bother. Or we start moving them just down through this area. And no grass, we'll figure something out. But at least this will solve the problem for a few days. So we've got this whole area cleared out. We went through, fine picked it, make sure there's nothing that the chickens can get hurt on, because I mean, who knows what was in here. We even found a 1970s license plate. So
That's kind of cool.
yeah, you never know what you find when you start digging things up. So I've got the Energizer set up. I don't even have to use my box anymore since it's inside the barn. So I just have it set up right here. I do have power to the barn over there on that wall. I don't have lights in here because just haven't gotten to that point, but there is power and possibly water.
Have you tried, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Have you tried putting a light bulb in?
No, they're cut. The wires are cut in the roof. So yeah, I've checked all that. I'd have to, I'm sure those light fixtures still work. I just have to run wiring all through and connect up to that breaker box. But
never mind, I have an idea.
your globe lights?
Yes.
You want to put your globe lights in
I
here?
just have to get more of them and just run them along the front.
That actually would look really cool.
Like the neighbors over across the street with their horses.
Yeah, that would look really cool.
All right, sorry.
So yeah, we got to set up their netting now. Okay. Rigged up a few things for the corners, tying them up with zip ties and stuff and rope to the poles of the barn. We used tomato stakes because they're plastic so they don't ground out, because this is a very awkward area. Not exactly how you're supposed to use this kind of fencing, but
When do we ever do things we're supposed to
we
do?
don't do things like we're supposed to, so this will work. And we'll have the chickens out here tonight.
This one.
All right, now I'm gonna test out this water thing. I've been wanting to do this for like 7 months, but I didn't want to do it while it was freezing because that would be a bad idea. And I don't, it's like 2.5 feet down, and I'm not too excited about shoving my hand down in there with the possibility of snakes. So we'll see. This is the hole I'm talking about. When we first moved in, I braved it and I found the water shut off in there, but it's so far down and it's not turning with just my hands. But what I found, or what Shannon found when she was clearing out some of the property, the water shut off. At least that's what I'm guessing this thing is. So I'm gonna use this and see if I can turn that. It's either shuts off to the barn right here, and that's a shut off. It's either a shut off to here or it's a shut off to my workshop. If I turn this one right here and it doesn't work, then more than likely the water shut off is over there next to the well house. I don't know if that's the shut off to the house or if it bypasses and comes this way. So we'll see. Nope.
No, it's good.
I think we're empty of critters. And there's the water shut off. All right.
Looks like I see an ant. You better be careful.
An ant?
Oh my gosh, pray for us. Plumbing and the electricity here makes me nervous. Because you just don't know.
Since that's not doing anything, let's try the one down at the well house.
Okay.
Maybe it's
Round 2.
round 2.
It's very deep.
Yeah. So this one.
If I record, I block you.
Okay. So I heard that one, that opened up water. You can hear it open. So now let's go back to the barn, see what that did.
Okay.
And if you see water geysering anywhere, we'll go over there to the workshop because that's where he said he capped it.
Okay.
And because he ran over something with a lawnmower, and he had to cap the plumbing over there.
Okay.
But according to what map was left me, is that water that we just turned on down there comes up here to the road and to the barn and then to the workshop. So hopefully that, just doing that could have, I see dripping, look.
Oh, look at that.
Get the electrical out of the way.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this, is it gonna work?
It works, look at that.
We have water.
Is it filling up?
Filling up.
Oh.
So I'm wondering, I hear water coming out.
Oh, I thought it was turning off. Yeah,
That sounds turned off.
that sounds like that's turned off.
Okay, so we'll come back and check on that.
Okay.
We'll just have to check on this every couple hours, I think,
Yeah.
just to make sure. We have random, they'll give you a background first. So according to the neighbors, this used to be an old tree farm. This entire area, not just our property, but the neighbors' properties, probably 20, 30, 40 acres worth of area was a tree farm. And a lot of it makes sense because a lot of our property that goes downhill is terraced, as if it was, you know, trees growing on it to be farmed, because it'd be easier to access. And so what we have kind of staggered all throughout the property are things like this.
Oh, there's a shut off here too.
Yeah, I was wondering if is that a shut off or is that like,
I think those are shut offs.
let me see if I could turn that, if I could oomph it. Yeah. I think this is just more of showing where a water line is. It is starting to get warmer and warmer now, and we shouldn't have any more freeze spells. At least I hope. Time to get the plastic off these things. Part looks like everything did just fine. I did have some asparagus that was starting to come up. See right here, that's pretty much wilted down, but I see some green down at the bottom, so it should be okay. Spinach definitely got clipped here, but it looks like the centers where the new growth is coming up is going to be fine. I just trim out all of these right here and be okay. The kale is unkillable. Time to get things out of the greenhouse. Do you have holes drilled in the bottom? Never mind, I see.
Yeah.
This greenhouse looks so empty now. Still got our little seedlings in there. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer until I bring the tomatoes and peppers out here to harden off. Probably another 2 weeks or so, maybe the beginning of April. Then I'll bring them out here to harden off, and hopefully it doesn't get below the 40s by then. But man, the outside's starting to look a little greener. Got the citronella plant starting to come back. Our only strawberries looking good. The 4 loquats are looking pretty good. The grapes, not so much. Pretty much every leaf on them died. I pruned them back to see if any of the other nubs will grow. So we'll see. We've got all the roses lined up along here. And we brought out our fig tree and our calamondia tree. Once everything starts to green up some more, it's gonna look good. It's gonna look real good. can see, got everything planted, wood chips on them, T-posts are in. Now what I'm gonna use is just some like electric wiring, just some regular wiring. I'm gonna go about probably, I don't know, 14 inches from the bottom, and then I'll come up to here almost to about the white tips on the top and have 2 rows of wire for these to eventually grow up on and support them. Look at that. Very nice. It's very, very hard to see in the camera, but there is a wire about here, and then there's a wire about here, and it connects about even height all the way to the other T-post. And that gives the blackberries something good to grow up on. They'll probably grow on that trellis back there and just come right up. And one thing you have to, if you remember from the previous video, you're all right in there. If you remember, this here, the good angle right here is that roof has heavy water that falls down, and so I wanted to make sure is that these blackberries you see were just on the inside, maybe 5 or 6 inches, so the water is going to fall right here and the blackberries are going to be right here. Now when they're older, no big deal, they'll be able to handle that, but as they're still young, I want to protect them a little bit. Plus the wood chips are there to keep the soil from really washing away. Gosh, there's just so much room in here. It's so clean.
Your videos motivated me. They look so bad.
Oh, clean the garage. There, we're getting the worms now. What I read is with the worms, you don't want to spread them on the whole bed. Worms are like colony creatures, animals. They'll find their own way. So I'm hoping they're still here somewhat on the top. Looks like they are.
Let me get a close up. I see some little wiggly worms.
I'm just gonna flop them like that. Well, they went pretty far deep. See, that's how much they can move. And they'll find their way. And that's all that I'll do for that bed.
So what's the benefit of having worms?
They're poop. They poop and they aerate.
Gotcha.
So their tunnels helps provide air to the soil. I don't know if this is easy like this.
I want to give one to my chicken.
No, chickens are not allowed to eat these.
I'd have to give them 10. Do you pay per pound or per worm? Just curious.
Per worm, and those, I mean, I don't think they sit there and count them. But
Now moving. Worms are so weird. Hey, tick, 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 ticks. Did you drop it? Or did you eat it? Oh, there it is. Let me get it. Okay.
that's about gonna cover it for today, I believe. We're gonna go ahead and get started on the next video. Next video is gonna be with the chickshaw. Getting the chicks outside is gonna be kind of a 2-day process, because tonight we're gonna go ahead and put them in there and then open them up tomorrow, and we'll make that as one video. So until next time.